So he gets up, he leaves. I wait about 10, 15 seconds. I get up, I walk maybe, I don't know, I would say 5 to 7 yards, to another position. And then, I put my knee down. And next thing, boom!
And we're rolling.
All right.
What's up, Will?
What's happening?
Thanks for being here, brother.
No,
Really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for having me.
So just, if you don't mind, just introduce yourself, tell us your name, branch of service, years you served, and what your job was.
All right. Boom, it's your boy Will Jones. You already know what's going down. We out here, Urban Valor TV. I was in the U.S. Army, 2004, 2008. Originally from Torrance, California. It's right outside of L.A. What was the other question? Or what else?
Branch of service?
Branch of service, U.S. Army. U.S. Army, 2004, 2008.
What's the fucking Army's thing? You know how Marines are hoorah? What's Army?
Hoorah.
2004, 2008, and
yes, sir.
Your job?
Oh, I was 11 Bravo Infantry.
11 Bravo Infantry.
Yes, sir.
Infantry runs the motherfucking world, right?
Yeah, God loves the infantry, so I had to join the infantry.
Hey,
Queen of battle.
Yeah, right. Talk to me a little bit about your upbringing, man. Where you were raised, and what your childhood was like a little bit.
Yeah, so I tell everybody that I was born to Dodger Stadium. I'm a big Dodger fan. Grew up Dodgers.
Hell yeah.
5 days old. I was at my first baseball game. So I just say, you know what? Boom, I was born there.
That's wild.
Big Dodger fan growing up. Torrance, California. My mother and father, they got divorced when I was 3 years old. Right around the time my little sister was born. So since age of 3, up until I joined the military, or to high school age, I was 2 weeks at each parent's house, and at each parent's house was completely fucking different. You know what I mean?
How so?
I was like two different people.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, at school, playing sports and all that stuff, people would know whose house I was at based on how I acted. So, but I guess I've never really, shook that.
Yeah.
I still do that. I guess in the environment, I act different ways.
Did one parent keep you in line more than the other?
Oh yeah, absolutely. My father.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Strict disciplinarian. He comes from the military as well. So Air Force. He's an Air Force veteran.
Right
my older brother, he's retired Air Force.
Nice.
My grandfather, Air Force. I had aunt in Air Force. I had an uncle in the Army. But yeah, I mean, the military kind of upbringing, so I had that discipline instilled in me from an early age. And then playing sports as well.
Right.
You got the discipline of practices and games, routine and all that stuff.
Yeah. Well, all right. What inspired you to join the military?
Well, like I said, I grew up around a lot of military, growing up with my father, my older brother, grandfather and stuff like that. So I had that military influence already. And it was kind of understood, or for me, it was understood, or I understood that it was either military or college. I really had no aspirations for college. So I was like, okay, well, military it is. And at that time, it was just, it was a timing thing. It's like whenever I was ready to go and do it was when it happened, but that was what it was. So whenever I was ready, boom, off to recruiter.
What made you pick the Army?
So after high school, I went with my father to the recruiter and the Air Force recruiter because he was Air Force, older brother's Air Force. I'm like, okay, well I guess I'm doing Air Force. I walked into the recruiter station. My last 2 years of high school, I was kind of a troublemaker. Grades kind of slipped and all that stuff. So I wasn't really Air Force material. So Air Force was kind of out of the question at that moment in time. But they were like, come back in 6 months, So I'm like, all right. Started studying for the ASVAB and all this and that. And then I ended up getting a job at Starbucks and kind of forgot about the military because I was having too much fun. you know, with this job, a little bit of money, a little bit of freedom, you know, have a car, driver's license, you know. So I'm like, okay, let me go play around. And then that got old real fast. So I'm like, okay, well, boom, it's time to go now. And based on my previous experience with the Air Force recruiter, I was like, I'm not even gonna go into that office anymore. And boom, there's the Army recruiter. So I walked in. I'm like, hey guys, I want to join. Here's my conditions. I want to play shoot 'em up, bang bang, and I need to leave within a month. Any longer than that, I'll probably change my mind. They looked at me, you know, I'm in, you know, street kids, street clothes, you know, trying to, you know, be one of these little troublemakers. First question was like, yo, do you have a police record? They're like, yo, forget everything else. They're like, do you have a police record? I mean, just look at you.
Right.
You look like you've been in trouble with the law. And I'm like, no, man, I ain't got no police record. Like, you can run it. Like, I'm clean. So when I told them about my experience with the Air Force guy and all that stuff, they're like, okay, well, we'll take you down to you know, take the ASAP and all that stuff, see kind of where it goes. But, you know, you want to play shoot 'em up, bang bang, and you don't want an office job. You want to be out having an adventure and all this stuff. We got the perfect job for you. You ever heard of infantry? I'm like, no, what the fuck is infantry? It's like, it's everything you just described. You know, it's like we work real hard. You know, we'll be out in the field for, you know, weeks, months, whatever. But when we're not in the field, like we're in the barracks chilling, fucking off, having fun, having a good time. Boom, that sounds like a job for me. Sign me up. You know. So, and I was out within a month.
Where was your first duty station?
First duty station, Fort Hood, Texas. I pulled up with my orders. They're like, huh? Well, I forget what he said, but something along the lines of, he's like, oh, I hope you're ready to deploy. What the fuck are you talking about? He's like, oh, Fort Hood they have the most deployments in all the military or in all the Army. Like, you're gonna be deployed very soon. Well, fuck it, I'm here.
Wow.
And I was initially scheduled to go to, or my orders were for 4th ID. And they weren't gonna go overseas for another year. But then as I'm in processing, 1st Cav Division, they were already overseas and they needed bodies. They needed replacements. So, boom, I got tasked with being a replacement for 1st Cav Division. And I was in Baghdad within 2 months of hitting Fort Hood.
Within 2 months?
Yeah.
You didn't even get time to settle into the barracks, huh?
Nope. Like, boom, you here. All right. Let's get you in process and ship you overseas.
And once you got to Baghdad, what was life like for you? You know, was it a shock? Did you feel like you were in a war zone? Like, what were you thinking? What was going through your mind?
Oh, it's like, what the fuck is happening? Like, so we first get there, like we're on base. Like every time in Kuwait we were on base, and then once we got to Baghdad, the airport, Bayap, and like we were on the base, and then it was like, okay, well now we got a convoy to your unit. So they had, you know, MP convoy and the big, you know, LMTV type, you know, fucking trucks. So he threw us all in there. They gave us weapons with 1 magazine. They're like, if somebody starts shooting, just follow suit, basically. Yeah, you see, you know, these people over here, you know, you see the people in the convoy engaging a target, like that's where you engage. That type of thing. So here we are, fucking just fresh off the fucking plane on this convoy. I have M16, and I'm in the back of this fucking big ass truck on this convoy. And I'm just like, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, right? I'm just looking around. You know, you got the cars, everybody honking, you see the sights and the smells, and you just like I don't know where the fuck I'm at. I don't know where the fuck I'm going, you know, but I'm fucking here, so it's just fucking right.
Jesus. And then what? You end up eventually made it to the base that you were staying at?
Yep. Fucking made it to the base with Charlie Company 19, and just rode out the rest of that deployment there. And yeah, we had some good times. We had some bad times. Yeah, it's all of the above.
Yeah.
That was quite the adjustment.
Well, talk to me about that. What were some of the good times while you were there? You know, a lot of times we're always talking about the hard times, and we'll get to that. But
Yeah.
you know, I'd like to hear about any good times while you're out there.
Oh, there's some like certain missions. I mean, like kind of had some fun aspects to it.
Yeah.
You know, barracks life. You know, some more aspects. The guard duty. You know, 12 on, 12 off. Those made for some interesting times. We were in these towers, like these, I don't know how many stories up towers, but it was over the wall, right? So you had to, you know, look over the wall, and you had a spiral staircase, and it was like old metal. So I mean, you'd hear somebody walking up and down these things, and it's 12-hour shift, you know. So you're 2 in the tower. Yeah, radio check every hour, box of MREs. You got a soldier of the guard driving around, you know, make sure everybody's, you know, is good and set to go. So sometimes we'd set like little booby traps, you know, it's like, because it's supposed to be like 1 up, 1 down at some time, you know.
Right,
it's like,
right.
okay, yeah, you go ahead, you take an hour nap. Sometimes we just both fucking knock out. We won't be able to hear the Humvee, but we have booby traps set. So like we'll definitely hear if, you know, somebody's coming up the stairs.
Right.
You know, it's like, yo, you missed the radio check. Like, oh shit, my bad, son. You know, like radio's not working or something. Like we try to fucking finagle it or something.
Yeah.
And then there's other times, you know, like the kids, they'd come, you know, try to fuck with us, and they have like these falafels, and you know, so we throw them some money, and then they come back with like these falafels. You know, they throw, oh man, those are fucking good. Like the bread they used to make,
Yeah.
can't find that anywhere else.
Did you get? Go ahead.
Except for like naan, or excuse me, like I think that's the bread, but like roti prata.
Yeah.
Or roti prata, whatever. Like that's the closest thing I found to it. Yeah.
Did you guys have like restrooms in these towers, or what happens when you need to take a shit or a piss?
There's like, damn, I think there's like porta potties around there somewhere.
Okay.
But usually, yeah, we just, you know, piss off the tower or go down the tower or piss on the wall. But as far as the shit, man, you either have to pinch it or, you know, I guess you find a porta potty somewhere.
Yeah. Now, while you were there, did you stay on base, or did you ever go out on convoys?
Yeah, we went out on missions.
Yeah.
So where we were at was like Haifa Street, and you know, this unit that we were sent to, they had lost a lot of guys. Like on Haifa Street, they had a big Saddam like supporting type group there. That was always, they were always in combat. So I mean, I got my CIB combat infantry badge fucking like the first few days I was there. You know, because there's always fucking contact, grenade, RPG, small arms fire. The IEDs really didn't pick up just yet. Like there's talk of it, but it wasn't as prominent. My first tour, second tour, I mean that's all they fucking was. You know, like it was all like IEDs, and then with follow up small arms, RPG, you know, shit like that. But more roadside bombs than anything else. Whereas it was the reverse, or my experience, the reverse the first time. A lot of grenades though.
Yeah.
So.
The first, you said the first 2 days there. Were you on base the first 2 days, or did you go out within that first 2 days, or were they attacking the base, or how?
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, we started going out on missions. Like once we kind of got acclimated to the environment, and you got our specific platoons and stuff like that, then we started going out on missions. Like we just fell right into that rotation.
Okay.
You know, so there's a slight adjustment period, and then boom, off you go.
What kind of missions were you guys doing?
We had like thunder runs. Those were kind of fun.
What's
Cause
that?
I was a dismount in the back of a Bradley. So on these thunder runs, it's basically just drive as fast as you can up and down the street. Try to you know fucking get them to engage us, and then fucking get after it. That was pretty much what it was. So we did a few thunder runs, and then we had a few targets and stuff like that to hit. But I mean, I'm on the low end of the totem pole, so I just kind of just fell in with with everybody else.
Right.
Quick funny story though, and this is fucking embarrassing. But it's like I didn't know any better, right? So on one mission, this was a night mission, and like I'm a fucking brand new guy, right? So you know, night vision goggles. I've never fucking used night vision goggles before in my life. You know, they give me these night vision goggles, like here you go. You know, they attach it to the helmet. Like this is how you attach it to the helmet. Boom, 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 boom. You just flip it down, turn it on. That was the only instruction I got. Flip it down, turn it on. All right, so now I'm supposed to be covering this corner. Flip it down, turn it on. All I see is green. I don't see shit. Yeah, I don't know anything about having to adjust or anything like that. Nothing, right? In common sense, I wasn't even thinking of any of this shit, right? I mean, I'm fucking brand new in Baghdad, Iraq, on a fucking, corner, supposed to be, watching this thing. So I flip it up. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna use my fucking, my cat-like fucking, I can see in the dark type shit. If something moves, I'm ready for it. They come on to me like, yo, Jones, what are you doing? I'm watching the stream. He's like, well, why aren't your goggles? Like, because I can't fucking see shit. They're like, you're supposed to do. I'm like, no, nobody ever fucking told me this shit. You know what I mean? Like I've never used these motherfuckers before in my life.
Right.
I didn't know you could fucking adjust to be able to see. So yeah, let's just say I was popular, but not for the right reasons.
Right.
My first duty station. So I got reamed a lot. It was not fun.
That's the shit you gotta deal with being new.
Yeah.
Figuring shit out the hard way, right?
Oh yeah. I was on everybody's shit list.
Yeah.
That first tour. Yeah.
Did you have any close calls with like IEDs or anything?
Yeah. So I got blown up 3 times.
Oh shit.
So let me break it down, right? It's a shock value. So the first tour, I was dismount in 2004, 2005. And I'm on a building overlooking the Tigris River. It was like one of my first missions. And we go on this rooftop. Like at the time, I don't really know what these missions were. I kind of just, like I said, I just fell in, just followed suit. So I'm on top of this roof. And we're up there. Like I said, I'm overlooking the Tigris River. My whole, fire team is up there. And, I'm just, like, it's a fucking river. Like, I live, the ocean. So, I just kind of get lost looking out at water. I see a boat. I'm like, oh, that's a cool little boat, and I'm looking around. I'm not really seeing anything out of the ordinary. I'm like, I'm on the fucking roof. I don't see any threat. So then, squad leader comes over and he's like, hey, when you're on these roofs and things like that, you kind of want to move around. You don't want to stay in the same spot for too long. People get locked on your position, this and that and the third. I'm like, all right, cool, roger that, Sergeant. And he's like, so just after I leave, just, wait a few seconds and then just move, kind of hang out there for a little while and then just move back and forth. I'm like, all right, cool. So he gets up, he leaves, I wait about 10, 15 seconds. I get up, I walk maybe, I don't know, I would say 5 to 7 yards, to another position. And then, like, I put my knee down. And next thing, boom, right? And I'm tossed back. I feel this fucking, just this concussion. I feel like this wave of protection like fall over me, right? Like God, just come and save me. And I had this bag of pretzels in my pocket. Because, we go to the chow hall, we just grab food. You never know when you're going to eat again. You get hungry in between shit. You never know how long you're going to be out on these missions for. Pretzels were my go-to. Bag of pretzels in my pocket. So, boom, I get hit with this concussion. I get knocked off my feet. I'm like, whoa, what the fuck? Right? I roll over. I smash my bag of pretzels. I'm like, my fucking pretzels. And amidst all the confusion, the only thing I'm thinking about is my bag of pretzels that I had smashed. And like I'm not knowing what the fuck happened. I'm just like, oh shit, I smashed my pretzels. Like I'm still alive. I'm like, I don't see anybody, but my bag of pretzels is fucking smashed. Mm-hmm. And then I'm like, well, fuck, I need to get off this roof. I don't know what the fuck to do. So I see the door that we came out, so I run towards the door. And in between all this time, I don't know how much time had elapsed, but everybody had ran in. And they all thought I was done. They all thought I was a goner. So when they see me running at them, they're all like, oh shit, it's fucking Jones. You know? I'm like, yeah, man, I smashed my pretzels. They're like, are you all right? I'm like, yeah, my pretzels. They're like, no, do you know what had just happened? I'm like, no, my fucking pretzels. They're like, all right, we gotta check you out, make sure you fucking all good. So I had no injuries, nothing like that. I guess what ended up happening was a mortar round had landed, but it like might have been a dud or something like that. There's no shrapnel or anything like that. There's still like the concussion, which knocked me off my feet, but like it didn't really do any damage. So I'm like, boom, thanks be to God for that one.
Shit.
So
how close did it hit to where you were?
no, 5 to 7 yards.
On top of the roof?
Yeah, to the exact spot that I was just at before. Teams, the staff sergeant came over and told me like, yo, you gotta move. You can't be in one spot.
Whoa, shit.
Yeah,
man.
so it was just like, boom.
Wait, so, but it didn't fucking explode? It was just the impact that
Yeah, it was the impact.
So if that motherfucker would have exploded, we wouldn't be talking.
Yeah.
Man.
Guardian angel, thanks be to God right there.
Dude, you want to talk about talking to fucking God. Your fucking staff sergeant or sergeant, whoever it was.
Guardian angel.
Man.
Yeah.
How often do you think about that fucking moment, man?
Oh, it comes up quite often.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
So that's one of the times
Yep.
did you use your fucking pretzels to fucking sprinkle another MRE with it, or did you still eat the pretzels?
Oh, I still ate the pretzels. Hell yeah, I ate those motherfuckers. So that story gets, every time I see a bag of pretzels, like boom, I talk about it.
Yeah.
Every time I'm eating pretzels, like I'm always remembered.
Right.
That moment, right? Like pretzels is my go-to jam.
Wow.
I love them.
Man. So that was and then you got blown up another time. You said there's 2 more times.
Yeah. So and then the second tour got hit with 2 IEDs. And we were lead vehicle, like each blast. So at the time, we had just got there, 2006, a new sector, close to Solder City. And there was this route. It was this IED laden, pretty much. So during the initial changeover, like the SOP was to move very slowly, like snail's pace, on these missions in these vehicles, because, excuse me, like they'd have the IEDs just all over the road, and you never kind of knew. Like, it was all very brand new to us.
Right.
Because, like, we had just gotten there. So we didn't really know the lay of the land or anything like that. So, that first one, it was just like, what the fuck happened? And you just driving along, and you kind of hear that metallic click. And, you have the smells and the bangs and kind of dust settles and just all that. Like you just in the concussion, just all that. And it's just like, what the fuck just happened? And the Bradley commander is like, we just got hit. I'm like, what the fuck just happened? Like, I'm still in the daze, like not realizing, and like, we just got hit. And this was, let me back up a little bit. So during these missions, like when we had first gotten there, like I was saying, like we'd go kind of slow, and then like the SOP was always changing, the standard operating procedure, because they kind of wanted like the higher ups to know what, or like where these IEDs were coming from, like who was making the IEDs, where they're coming from. Like we wanted intel, information, so they're like, boom, these blasts. If they're not that big, they haven't done any damage to the vehicle or anything like that, like send the dismounts out, kind of collect some evidence type thing. And so that way we kind of analyze this shit. So then that became our standard operating procedure. So we had just got back from this one mission, and it was an all-night mission. I think we had done, it was just like an all-night type raid. So during this all-night raid, it was the whole platoon. Now, where we were in Baghdad at our original base, we had like outposts, or like outer fobs or something like that, where that's where we kind of operate from, and then we have our big base where we kind of do our refits. So we all got back to the refit, but whoever was out at that base, like we would just kind of leapfrog. Like half the platoon would be there, half the platoon would be on the refit, and then we just kind of switch it like that. So there was no, because the mission took all night and all these different things, it's just like we didn't know who was gonna go back out and who was gonna stay just yet. So we had just got back onto the base after this all night mission. It's like right before sunrise. The chow hall there, they had a 24-hour sandwich bar. So boom, we all went straight to the fucking sandwich bar. And I fucking love my sandwiches with yellow mustard. Just like every time I bite into a fucking sandwich, I want fucking mustard falling off my face. So boom, we get that, and like we're just sitting there eating, just bullshitting, like, as we always do. And I got mustard all over my face, and then when my boy Sergeant Green, he's just sitting there making fun of me because I got the fucking mustard on my face, and I'm just like I don't give a fuck, right? Like I don't care. We just fucking, cause we're all just fucking around, just waiting to see like who's staying and who's going. And then the decision came down. My section was to stay, and my boy Ryan Green's section was to go. So I'm like, all right, cool, So they made the preparations, then they left. Well, we just got off the mission. I fucking eat the sandwich. I'm just just chilling, just fucking around. I ain't really got nowhere to be. Like we're set at refit for a few more days, so I kind of just chill. The sun just rose, a brand new day, and so I'm just fucking around with everybody, just going around, the barracks and stuff like that. And like I was gonna take a shower, but I wasn't ready to take a shower and just kind of chill out just yet. So then we see somebody from the engineer company come over. I see somebody from the engineer company coming over, and they were asking about somebody in 3rd Platoon. They're like, yo, so-and-so from Legion Company. I'm like, I don't know, man. That's 3rd Platoon. Like, fucking 2nd Platoon. I didn't really know who this dude was either, so I wasn't really like being very kind or warm or welcoming to him. I'm just like, you asking about, like somebody else.
Yeah.
Like, we don't fucking care.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, we just heard, Legion Company, took casualties, like KIAs. I'm like, what the fuck you talking about? And he was like, yeah, it just came over the radio. I'm like, man. And he was a PFC. I was a specialist, so I wasn't maybe you need a little bit more rank for me to believe what the fuck you talking about, So then I go to one of my E5s. I'm like, hey man, this dude over here, saying this shit. So I'm like, so he asked, let me tell him the exact same story, So he's like, all right, well now let's go take it to the platoon sergeant, like, so platoon sergeant Cook just coming out of the shower. He's like, yo man, this motherfucker, talking about all this shit right here. We just lost some guys. And he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? So again, this poor guy from fucking engineer company over here telling us that we lost some people. He's now got a fucking big circle of like motherfuckers getting ready to jump on him.
Yeah.
For what he's saying. And you could tell he's fucking shaking in his boots. He's like, man, I didn't want to be the one to come over here and tell you guys this fucking shit. Because like I said, now we're all just fucking, like we're all angry. Cause like, yo, this this can't be a fucking joke. Like this is the type of joke that gets you fucked up.
Yeah.
And then a fucking E7, same rank as our platoon sergeant, comes over. It's like, Sergeant Cook, I'm gonna need you to come with us to headquarters. He's like, no, you tell me what's happening right here, right now, in front of everybody. He's like, yeah, you guys just took 4 KAs and 2 are being sent to the hospital, or 2 being casevaced or something like that. And that's when shit became real. We were like, wow. Like fucking just silence from there. It's just. So he grabbed his stuff, he went over there to get all the details. And at that time, like we're all just sitting there like, fuck. You know, like we don't have any information till Sergeant comes back with the information. So he comes back with the information, and then it was time for, you know, like he had got the names of the guys that were hit instantly that day, and then the 2 that were Kazovac. So we had to go grab, you know, those guys' stuff and get all that stuff ready to be sent home. And later on that evening, we had the Heroes Flight. Hardest fucking shit I ever had to do. Stand in formation, fucking flight line, while they bring the flag draped bodies out of the, I guess the morgue or wherever the little setup place was, onto the helicopters. And that got old real fast. Because that wasn't the first time we had to fucking do that shit. And yeah, that got old real fast. And you know, Sergeant Green was one of the ones that was Kazovac, and he died from wounds sustained from that blast. That was the one making fun of me because of my fucking mustard. So every time I fucking look at mustard and shit like that, I always remember that fucking day, that fucking moment. Damn. Because that was an amazing moment. But yeah, so I bring that up to tell you about the standard operating procedure, right? What had happened was these motherfuckers they observed us, that every time a bomb would go off, for IED, we'd get hit, we would dismount and go check the blast site. So they're okay, all right, boom, we got this now. So they had a fucking secondary in there waiting for that exact fucking thing to happen. So when our guys got out to check the blast site, they set off the other one. So for us, that was it. Fucking those standard operating procedures fucking went out the window. Like, it's not happening again. Right? Fucking any IED that goes off anytime that we get hit or we get engaged, 360 degrees, we laying everything out. Like, we're not letting anybody else get a fucking beat on us anymore. We lost 4 guys in one blast and 2 from wounds sustained. It wasn't fucking happening. So when I got hit with the IED and realized, boom, yeah, we got hit and all that shit, you know, back in the moment, boom, guns went hot. And fucking we got out of the kill zone. We just shot our way out. Back to the base. And
well, you were in a Bradley, right?
It was Bradley, yeah.
Was it inoperable, or were you able to take that back with you?
Yeah, it was operable.
It was operable?
Yeah, so yeah, it wasn't a mobility kill. Like, we were still able to to operate.
You guys jumped out?
No.
Oh, you
not
stayed
this
in?
time.
Okay.
The second time was the bigger blast.
Right.
And that one was, like, I still kind of beat myself up over that one. Because we're in the lead vehicle, you know, I'm scanning, you know, and, you know, I'm looking at all the trash piles and all this. They got a lot of trash piles, you know, on each side of the road. And as we're coming, we make a left turn. So I'm already, you know, like, I already have the gun pointed that way, just waiting on the Bradley to catch up. Something didn't sit right with me. There was an intuition that just something didn't sit right. But I didn't voice it because I didn't have enough evidence. It was just a fucking feeling, right? I didn't have anything concrete. You know, like, all the trash piles, everything looked the fucking same. It all looked normal. The only thing that didn't look normal was maybe about 50 yards down the road. It's just something about, like, the 2 cars that were on the road. it was just like one was facing us, the other's facing the other way, just kind of having a conversation, right? And for some reason that stuck out to me as being odd. I don't know why. Because, I mean, I saw people on the road, you know, I saw people still out and about walking, I saw the kids over there playing, you know, but these two fucking cars, something just, I don't know. I can't fucking pinpoint it. But shortly after that, boom, we get rocked. And fucking, we got rocked. The shrapnel, what's it called? Penetrated the Bradley. It struck the driver. And the Bradley caught on fire. And like fucking, so I'm in this position. After the blast, like I'm in this position. I'm like, what the fuck happened? Like I am turned like this. And like all this shit, just this split second, right? We got hit. Bradley Commander jumps up because it was a fucking big blast. He had to go check on the driver. I'm still coming to, trying to like realize what the fuck happened. I'm still hearing the radio transmissions in my helmet. And then we've got the turret door right there kind of opens up, and it's the driver looking up at me, and he's all bloody. I'm like, yo, Will's hit. You know, and all at the same time, I'm trying to fucking make the gun hot and just engage. Gun's not working. So I try to do it manually. That's not working. Fucking, he's going off. I'm like, boom, you know, he's hit. You know, and they're all yelling like, get the fuck out, you're on fire. You know, I'm like, I don't know how to, you know, and then there's guys in the back of the Bradley. I have no access to open that fucking door. The turret, you know, is positioned in a way that we can't squeeze through it. My only way is up and out. But for these guys, there's nothing I can do for them. I've got my M4 with me. So I'm like, well, fuck it, I gotta get out. You know, so I grab my M4, you know, I check and make sure that we're good to go. I pop out. And all at the same time, you know, the Bradley Commander, Staff Sergeant, he went down there, he fucking opened the ramp. So all the guys got out and they were able to do they were able to get the driver and all that out of there. Now I'm standing on top of the fucking Bradley. You know, and at this time, like, our guys are already engaging. And I'm standing up like I'm in disbelief, right? I'm like, oh shit, we really are on fire. They're like, get the fuck off the Bradley, jump. What the fuck are you doing? Get down. I'm like, oh shit, yeah. So I jump off. And, you know, I see where everybody else is engaging, so I get online and I start engaging as well. I go black very fast. And fucking all my mags are back in the Bradley that's on fire. I'm like, shit, I need a mag. Medic's like, boom, gotcha. I'm like, hey. All right, you know, the medic, boom. So, and then it was, so through all this confusion, we had to get another Bradley up so we could, you know, Kazovac my driver. And like this whole scene, to me, it felt like fucking the North Hollywood shootout. You know, kind of where they're walking with the car. Because that's what the Humvee was doing, right? The Humvee was like that. We're behind the doors of this Humvee, like engaging targets. And I'm fucking, that fight or flight fucking thing, you know, kicks in, right? I'm like, I'm feeling that shit, right? I'm like fucking, like, I need to run because now we're getting ready to leave, you know? And that's when all that shit's happening. I'm like, there's too many people here to fit in this fucking Humvee. So I'm like, I need to run to the fucking, the rear vehicle, you know? Something stopped me. I didn't, you know, because, I mean, the rear vehicle was up with us. So if I would have turned and started running, I would have just been running in no man's land. But I didn't end up running. I kind of just stayed there. And they're like, all right, boom, because that's when that's where the fucking Bradley was. They're like, boom, we gotta go. So I'm like, boom, we get in this motherfucker. Or we get to it, and they're like, boom, right as they're dropping ramp, because this Bradley wasn't engaged in this fight. They were just itching to get in. Because, you know, we're everybody else, like, we set the perimeter, we've got cover fire going, and we're getting the casualty out of there. So at this time, I'm like, boom, I'm ready to get the fuck out of this place. So as the ramp's coming down, like these motherfuckers, they ready to go. They fucking, the ramp come down, they already like guns in their face. I'm like, whoa, like get the fuck, like we gotta get in. So they come out, boom, we get in. I've never cried so much in my life. I don't know what it was about that fucking moment, but I wept that whole drive back to base. And by the time I got back on base, I guess the sulfur and my tears and the dust, I guess all that shit or whatever, it made it to where it was hard for me to open my eyes. Like I couldn't open my eyes for some reason. Like so I'm sitting there like, yo, I can't open my eyes. Right? And all I'm seeing is like the most beautiful shade of blue I've ever seen before in my life. And I'm just like, oh, that's fucking beautiful. But it's like, I can't open my fucking eyes, you know? And I'm trying to rub them. They're like, don't rub your eyes, don't rub your eyes. I'm like, yo, somebody give me some fucking water then. They're like, no, we can't do that, we can't do that. We don't know what's going on. We have to take you to the fucking, the medic or whatever. So while all this is happening, these motherfuckers called my parents, told them I lost my eyes.
Oh.
Unbeknownst to me, I didn't know. I didn't find out till later, you know. But we get into the fucking. They take me into the clinic, and they wash my eyes out with some type of solution or something like that, and then they go and they're like, okay, boom, your eyes is good to go. And then later on, first sergeant comes to me. He's like, yo, you might want to call your parents. They had told him that you lost your eyes or some shit like that.
Oh.
I was like, man, like this shit happened a little too fast, right? Like,
right.
I mean, the day wasn't even over yet. Like, you know, we didn't even fucking, you know, like, yeah. I was like, within 2 hours, they'd already had a phone call back home.
Yeah.
And
you weren't even done being treated yet.
Right, exactly.
How was it for you transitioning out, trying to become a civilian again?
Yeah, so for me, my experience was everything was business as usual back home, right? Meaning that everybody still had a school to go to. Everybody still had a job to go to. Everybody was still living their day-to-day life, to where there'd be moments where I was alone. You know, like I just come off of deployment, or I just come off this military 4 years of never really being alone, to where now, boom, I'm back home, and now I'm alone. What the fuck do I do? Right? Like, what do I do? In the military, like, our lifestyle was all pretty much intertwined with each other. So you'd always have somebody call, you'd always have somewhere to go, you always had somewhere, you know, or, you know, like you had somebody. But back home, like I said, like people had school, people had work, people had their lives. So that was very hard transition for me. Until I found other veterans. And then once I found other veterans, fucking everything was fine from there.
Did all that shit that you seen overseas getting blown up, all that shit, did it affect you coming back home? Did you ever notice a moment when you felt like you might have had maybe more anxiety? Do you have PTSD from it? Does it affect you in any way since you've been back?
Absolutely. Like when I'm alone, I've got coping mechanisms to where fucking, you know, like I think I got a handle on it. But I'm with like, you know, civilians. That's when, you know, it kind of, the anxiety levels, all this, it kind of gets raised because, like, I know with other, like, combat veterans and stuff like that, like, we've had, like, a shared experience in a way, like, you know, same training, like, we kind of, you know, been overseas, you know, we kind of, so it's like, boom, like, I'm going to be looking out for you, you're going to be looking out for me type thing. Whereas, like, I don't feel that way with people that haven't had that. So that's why I gravitate more towards other veterans than non-veterans.
Yeah.
So when I'm with non-veterans, yeah, definitely anxiety levels and all this other stuff is fucking through the roof. I mean, does that answer your question? I don't know if I kind of...
Yeah, no, for real. So obviously it's affected you. It's you know. What ways do you cope with it? Obviously you talked about hanging around with other vets. But you know, we were talking earlier about, and I fucking see you all the time getting after it with Matt and all the fucking guys and shit. So you know, we're gonna jump into the fucking exercise and what that means for you. You know what I mean? Like, why is it that you get after it all the time? How does that help you?
Training with these guys, it's like even when I'm not training, I'm training by myself. But it's just like there'll be times, there'll be days where it's like I need to stay on my game so that when we do certain events and we all come together, nobody's picking up my slack, right? So it gives that sense of purpose, that sense of belonging, that sense of working towards a worthy ideal. You know, like now I have a goal to reach, and we all hold each other accountable.
Well, we're gonna get ready to wrap it up, man.
Oh yeah.
But before I do, I always like to ask everyone, you know, if you have anything that you wanted to get in or any last words, maybe advice to other veterans that might be struggling, or just anything before we cut the tape.
I would say, I mean, just you know, just reach out to people. You know what I mean? Like, be kind. You know, like spread love. You know, smile, laugh, enjoy life. You know, especially you know in these days where there's just so much negativity, and even before these days, the same level of negativity was out there. But we have the power, even to switch from negative to positive, just like that. It's too fucking easy to go negative. So we need to fight like we've never fought before to stay in the positive, right? Because like it's a slippery slope. Like anything bad is fucking easy to get into, you know. But some days we need to take that fucking hard path, that you know, take the hard road and decide to do something good and positive. You know, and that can be in all aspects of our life. You know, whether it be you know, I don't know. I'm not trying to go down that road, but just do good.
Right.
Do good, be good, laugh, smile, you know, hug your loved ones.
Yeah.
You know, all that fucking shit.
Connect with each other. Hell yeah.
Absolutely. You know?
Yeah. Hey, well.
I don't know if I did this thing any justice.
Man, you did it perfect, brother. You did it perfect, man. Hey, thanks for being here, Will.
No, I appreciate you. Thank you, Josh.
I really appreciate you, man, because, you know, I always say it, but I never get tired of saying it. I really appreciate everyone that comes and takes the seat and contributes to the project. It's a big fucking deal. You're going to impact lots and lots of people, man. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for being here.
No, man, thank you. Like you providing this vehicle, you know, it's like we all give back, you know, we all give back, we all pay forward. Like that's what life is about. That's what it should be about, you know?
Yeah. Well, thanks, brother, and go fucking Dodgers.
Yeah, go Dodgers all day.
Push it to the limit, I can't go no more. Red light, no